Hi, I'm Magenta, relationship coach and educator, and today we're going to talk about some of the philosophies behind polyamory, more of the why instead of the how. As you may know, polyamory is a relationship model based on the idea that it is more than possible to have multiple, loving, meaningful partnerships. It challenges the idea that romantic love has to be exclusive to be real or valuable. We already know that we can love multiple people at the same time. We know that having a loving, supportive family and close friendships is a good thing. Love is not a zero-sum game. I mean, I know it's different, but I still think it's relevant. When I had my first child, I was totally enamored. Still am. I love them with my whole heart. When I was pregnant with my second, I was actually kind of worried. I couldn't imagine how I could possibly love another child as much as I did my first. And it turns out it was really easy. My daughter came and I love her with my whole heart too. We're bigger on the inside. Both of my kids are unique and beautiful, and loving them individually is as easy as breathing. It would be impossible not to. We know that the human heart is capable of great love. We know that love is not a finite resource. Our friends, our partners, our families, they are unique and beautiful, and it's easy to love all of them at the same time. Love for one doesn't diminish love for the other. Where it comes to romance, though, we tend to see things differently. We treat romantic love like it's something that can be stolen, like something that needs to be locked up and defended. The idea that someone might have romantic or sexual feelings for multiple people can be seen as a personal weakness, a lack of integrity. In romance, once we find our person, we are expected to build a wall between ourselves and others. We treat love like it is a finite resource, and we see other people as threats. Even just the idea of emotional connection can be seen as betrayal. Polyamory comes from the belief that there is enough love to go around, that desire, intimacy, and emotional vulnerability are things to be valued and honored, that we don't have to make ourselves smaller in order to love and be loved. The people in our lives, platonic, romantic, familial, may hold different roles, different expectations, time commitments, levels of interdependence, but they're all meaningful. They are unique, important parts of our lives. These loves are not in competition with each other. Why would they be? The people in my life are wonderful, and I love them entirely and entirely differently. Not because one isn't enough for me or because there's something lacking. I love them because they're interesting, thoughtful, unique people, and I'm really lucky to have them in my life. The idea that falling in love means that we have to shut down or wall off parts of ourselves doesn't make sense to me. Whether or not sex or romance is involved is totally irrelevant. My affection and admiration for one person is not diminished by my adoration for another. Polyamory does require bravery and trust. All relationships do. All relationships carry the risk that someone we love might change their minds. They might find someone else and decide they don't want to be with us anymore. You both might change in ways that make you incompatible. Love is vulnerable, and sometimes we get really hurt. Monogamy doesn't protect us from that. Polyamory doesn't either, unfortunately. There is no relationship structure that can keep us perfectly safe. I still choose to love. The rewards, the warmth, the connection, the joy are worth the risk. We have to trust that the people we love will continue to love us, not because we're keeping each other under lock and key, but because we value and love each other actively and with intention. Regardless of what relationship dynamic I'm in, if I have to be afraid that I'll be forgotten every time they meet someone new, if I have to police someone's whereabouts or monitor their behavior in order to keep them from abandoning me, I don't want to be in that relationship. Not that I don't get insecure. I absolutely do. I am very poly. It is who I am. It's how I live, but I am still human. Sometimes change scares me, and I don't actually feel safe in a new situation until I've been safe for a while. Poly people feel all the same feelings monogamous people do. We can be just as emotionally vulnerable and tied to our partners. We can have abandonment issues and jealousy and insecurity. Honestly, I don't love this, but every time a partner starts seeing someone new, I get nervous. And hugs and reassurance are really important to me. But still, I don't want my partners to have to make their world smaller so that I can feel safer. And I don't want to close myself off or sacrifice my autonomy either. I'd rather we face those fears head on than to lock things down in order to give ourselves an illusion of safety. Also, I'm an adult. Autonomy and personal responsibility are very important to me. The idea of someone trying to tell me who I can be friends with, how I'm allowed to feel, what connections I am permitted to have, seems so invasive, seems awful. I don't want that kind of power over my partners either. I love people. I love connecting with them in the ways that feel the most honest and heartfelt, however that happens to look. Sometimes it's platonic, sometimes there's chemistry. I want that in my life. I want my partners to have it. I want them to be loved and admired by people that they love and admire. Even if that means sleeping alone sometimes or having to wrestle my own fears and anxieties, it's worth it. I want us all to enjoy that openness and expansiveness of connection and personal agency. If we are going to be in partnerships that do put such a high value on autonomy and personal agency, that comes with an enormous amount of responsibility. Being poly doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable. We have to honor our commitments. We have to have strong boundaries and communicate clearly what we're available for and what we're looking for. If we want to have healthy relationships, we have to show up for them, not because that's what the rule book says, but because it's important to us. We don't get to be lazy in our relationships or take each other for granted. Our partnerships have to be healthy and mutually supportive if we want them to last. If we are a thoughtless partner, if we spread ourselves too thin, if we become distracted or lazy as time passes, or we get myopic and distant every time a shiny new person comes into view, our relationships will fail. Polyamory reminds us not to take each other for granted. It reminds us that we are all growing and changing, and we have to be present to each other actively and intentionally. The thing that keeps a relationship, any relationship, healthy is not exclusivity, but mutual regard and the decision to continually nurture and value that relationship. There are so many beautiful ways for us to love each other. Some people thrive in monogamy, some don't. There are even different ways to be monogamous or monogamish or open. Within the poly community, there are so many different frameworks. So long as everyone involved is fully informed, freely consenting, and happy in their relationships, there's no inherent value judgment or moral superiority to any of these dynamics. None of them is wiser or safer or fundamentally more or less healthy, joyful, or functional. They're just different, valid ways of relating to ourselves and others. To me, these ideas of personal agency and responsibility, mutual respect, communication, honesty, they're not really about polyamory. They're not even really just about romance. It doesn't matter who or even if we're dating. I feel like these philosophies carry over into our day-to-day lives, how we interact with each other on a larger scale, what kinds of connections we want to have with the people we interact with. Okay, I had to cut myself off there. That was going to be a very long tangent that probably needs its own video. So if you like what you've seen here and you want more of it, please like and subscribe. You can also go to polycoach.org where you can sign up for a free coaching session or level up your poly knowledge with my free 30-minute intro to poly class.